Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I have to apologize. I changed my monitor, and because I changed my monitor, the recording settings were not correct. And I went through 3 turns and didn't get any video, just audio. And of course, something really, really important happened. And so anyway, let me just talk about the monitor for a minute. I bought this new monitor, which is a TV, and I'm going to actually have to return it because it's a 60 refresh and it advertised itself as 120 refresh. Well, my previous monitor was already 100. So if I go down to 60, and it's 60 at 4K, well, what's the point of having a 4K TV if you can't run it at the full refresh rate? I think well, I know at 2K or whatever it is, or 3440 by 1440, or whatever, it would run at 120 refresh, but it's not doing that for me. It's just doing 60 at 4K. So there's no point in me keeping this monitor for that reason alone. And it kind of annoys me because I got it from Amazon. Now I got to return it to Amazon. But anyway, I'm actually using it until the day I have to send it back, which is Friday. So today is Tuesday. I'm going to pack it up Thursday night and then put it in the box and give it back to them and get something better. But this thing is massive, and it's so easy to read what's going on the screen on this thing. It would be perfect for games like for Asia games, but for games like Kingdom Come Deliverance, it doesn't work very well because 60 refresh is not good for Kingdom Come Deliverance because it's already, I don't want to insult it and say it's not optimized, but I think it's not completely optimized. And so if you run it at 60 FPS at 4K, the FPS drops down to 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and it gets a little choppy at times. And so there's just no point in using it if it won't run the games that I want to run and still not be choppy. So like I said, it's great. It's great for this game. I'm sitting here looking at it. I have no issues reading anything on the screen, and it's wonderful. But I'm going to get another TV, and this one's actually a little too big for the room. I got a 55 inch. I think I'm going to drop down to 48 inch and get a 120 refresh. But anyway, like I said, I changed out the monitors, and apparently in OBS it doesn't automatically detect when you change the monitors, and I didn't check it, and so I taped 3 turns with no video. But the last turn was the most important one because something really big happened. The Austrians have been moving around, and I was pretty sure that they were going to come for Dresden, and they did. And I moved all my troops up, and we had a very big battle in Dresden. And as you can see here, for the Battle of Dresden, the first battle, we captured 4,700 rifles, 4,300 prisoners, and we got 11 national morale. And let me just pull that up, and you'll get to see it. So as you can see, in this first battle, we destroyed 57 units. Range casualties were 36 and assault casualties were 21. 4 of those were guard units. 16 of them were elite infantry, the grenadiers. Hungarian grenadiers, which are elite infantry as well. And then Grenzer, light infantry, I'm not sure. And German grenadiers, elite infantry. So they lost a lot of troops, a lot of good troops. And as you can tell, we lost about 4,000 men, 4,300 to their 12,700. We lost 800 horses. They lost twice as much, more than twice as much horses, and they lost 12 cannons. So that was a huge, huge victory. It's hard to even express how important that was. Look at the initial forces, 450 to 274, and they lost 57 of that. So now they're down to what, 217? So that's pretty big. And we gained 11 national morale. And then there was a second battle, but it was smaller. and we gained 1,000 rifles and took 800 prisoners and gained 6 national morale. And we ended up losing 3 grenadiers there, but I mean, and they lost 11 total, and we lost 3 total. So of the 2 battles, we lost 3 units, and they lost, what was it, 68 units. So that's pretty big. And then we lost 2,000 men in this battle, and they lost twice as many men. And wow, 1,374 horses to us, 52 horses, and 22 cannons. So that's pretty big. And as you can see, Charles Lorraine, he's a 412 commander. That is the commander for the, I think he's French, and he's not that good. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. He's not French. Charles de Lorraine makes me think of a French name, but he's actually, I'm not sure exactly where he's from, but I don't think he's French, because I think some of those other, like in the Dutch areas and some of the German areas, you can have French sounding names and they're not actually French. Anyway, so yeah, that was pretty big. And as you can tell, we can look at some of these information as well, some of this information. Trench effectiveness, number of prisoners. So that's pretty interesting stuff. So raid on Fort William Henry, it gave the Austrian coalition 2 national morale, and the Prussian alliance -1 national morale, which I don't really understand, because in North America, a French attack against Fort William Henry failed. A sloop and a few buildings are burned, but very little is accomplished. So if the French are on the Austrian side, if the French failed, then why is the Austrians getting +2 national morale and we're -1? So that's a swing of 3. And then of course Sweden declares war on Prussia. And then Sweden declares war on Prussia. Pommern is a region, and cry the Swedish parliamentary eloquences. Prussian morale decreased to bounce the game, but engagement points. Okay, so we got 2 in EP. We lost 5 national morale, but we got 10 victory points to compensate. I don't think that's that great. You would think it would be more. I mean, 2 EP and 10 VP for 5 national morale? You'd think you'd get more like 4 EP maybe and 20 victory points, but anyway. Wagenheim and Ahlefeld are awaiting. I think they're from Hanover. Your control of region has increased to 100. That is right above here, just northwest of Dresden. And I guess it wasn't at 100. And then we get down to here. We captured a couple of supply units, and then Moritz von Anhalt-Dessau is promotable. Frederick Graf Württemberg is promotable. What did I say? Progressible? Promotable. Georg von Driesen, Georg, I think is how that's pronounced. And Heinrich von Preußen and Ferdinand von Preußen. So I think those are both younger brothers of Friedrich. And then that's it. That's pretty good, actually. Another thing I did was I promoted General Keith, James Keith, to his own army. Oops. He's in the Königliche army. That's his army. And the reason I did that was, obviously I did it because he is 566, which is even better than he was the last time I looked. So 566 is just phenomenal. That's the best general on the board, and I made him a army leader, and I took a hit. I had -2 national morale because of that, but then we regained it by doing something. I forget what it was, but Anyway, it was not that big of a deal when I promoted him. I promoted him over this guy because he's not bad, but he's not great. But William Keith is great. And a very similar situation, it would be more familiar probably to some of you, is when I'm playing Civil War II and Ulysses S. Grant shows up. He's only a 2 or 1 star, and you have to promote him pretty quickly. And he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough seniority. He doesn't have enough seniority over some of the other generals, but because you need him so badly to be an army commander, you're more likely to just accept the penalties and go ahead and promote General Grant to high enough to be an army commander, because it in the long run it helps you out better. But as you can see, like this guy, he has less seniority than other unassigned generals. William von Preussen, located in Dresden, expects to receive command of the next available army. Naming this guy will cost you 2 national morale and 37 victory points. Well, that was similar to what James Keith's penalty was, but I went ahead and promoted him because he's such a good commander. So that's what happened in the last turn. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see any of this. So we have 20 engagement points. And what do we have here? I'm not going to spend money on these Hanoverian troops or replacements. Here's another guy. He has become active. And so I moved him down to Halle, and then I moved him down to Leipzig because the Austrians seemed like they were going to come up this way, and then they didn't. They did a U-turn and went through Dobelna, I don't know, and then attacked Dresden. And I made a pretty good decision to actually go to Dresden with my forces because they weren't there. They were in Perna, and we had this unit right here all bottled up in Perna, and we could have destroyed it. But we were pretty sure that we might get in trouble if we left Dresden open for them to attack, and then they did attack. So let's put another supply unit in this column. Close that back up. So before I do anything, he is not promotable. He is promotable. Heinrich von Preussen will be promoted. And let's take him out. And let's lock these because I don't want him moving anywhere, so I'm going to put him over there. And then somebody else. There's 2 or 3 other guys. This guy. He doesn't. Is he locked? Yeah, he's locked. So this guy's promotable. And then look at that. 400. He's horrible. Bülow, Klackstein, Wobersau. He doesn't have anybody. This guy. I think he is, I thought it said he was. And Halt Dessau. And now I'm not sure where he came from. We'll close that up. Now that's locked. Dreesen. Well, we had at least 3. What did it say? It said, Georg von Dreesen, Preußen, Friedrich Graf Württemberg. This guy. All right, so let's lock him. Okay, so we've promoted 4 guys from that big battle. We gained 17 points, but so now it's just 130. Well, our current morale is 130. Theirs is 102. I went through a couple of these things. Victory points. Ours is 576. Theirs is 163. Prisoners of war. We have 7,000. Combat losses. We've lost 33,000. They've lost 56,500. And raise more money. And then that's it. Okay, so I really don't want to do anything else with these guys. I want to leave them here. Let them. I do want to do this though. I want to make sure they're all on. Defend, not offensive, because they'll gain more cohesion if they're on to just defend. I can't even remember where these guys came from, which ones. I know the Preußens were both, and Dreesen. Dreesen was also in the Königliche army. Königliche. And Württemberg was not. He was in the Wilhelm column. Another thing I did, I don't know if it's going to, if it's this turn. Okay. We're moving him back. Because look at this. The bad weather. They're running out of supply. Look at this. They're showing 67% in ammunition and 63% in regular supply. So I'm just going to move him back to Cosel. And what else? Is there anything else I'm thinking? Well, I don't know if I talked about this guy, but he's Brunswick, and I moved him down from up here. Oops. He was up here somewhere. Oh, yeah, he was at Brunswick. And he's Brunswick. I thought Brunswick is Brunswick. But anyway, moved him down to Leipzig, and he's kind of... And my thoughts on strategy... Let's zoom out a little. I want to come down by the river, on the west side of the river, and eventually. Oh, he's at 25% malice. That's not good. And eventually come down and take Prague. My other part of my strategy The scrolling's not very good on this. I think is come down through Troppau and then capture Olmütz, which if you keep on going, it goes down to Brunn and eventually to Vienna. So that's my thought process or my strategy. And now, the enemy has been watching the videos and probably knows what I'm going to do. I'm just kidding. This is against AI. Anyway, I think this is going to be a real short video because, well, I'll run a turn. Although there's probably nothing going to be happening unless they are dumb enough to attack me, which I have had happen before. So let's run a turn and see. Do you see that guy? Okay. This guy looked like he was coming up into Dresden. First things first. Let's unlock him and unlock that. No, Dresden. No, Dresden is Württemberg was in Wilhelm's column. Now Dresden was in the Königsliche army. Königsliche. And then Preußen was also. And then Heinrich was also as well. 2681. He's 179, but he doesn't have very much with him. Wow. If I... No. Okay. Oh, he's a 1-star. That's part of his problem. I can't do all of them. I need to get... that's one thing I talked about. He's not that. He's not who I was thinking he was. Is it Johann Vettel? No. It's this guy. It's Heinrich. I think. No, it's not him. Where is that? We have somebody who's a very good multinational commander, and that's it right there. If I can get him, I could put him in charge of this. But I don't know if I want to split that up like that. He's a 3-star, so he could have his own corps. I really don't want to split up Keith, though. Anyway, I'll think about it. Shall we evac Wesel? The approach of the French army renders the defense of Wesel hazardous. The garrison commander there chose to blow up the depot and evacuate the city. Wesel evacuated. All Prussian forces are withdrawn and marched to Dresden. Prussia loses 10 morale and 5 VP. All forces stay in place and await the enemy. Prussia gains 3 EP, 5 morale, and I can't see how many victory points. Oh, there we go. 5 victory points. Vessel is reinforced. Defense could last longer. More batteries sent to the walls. The defense could last longer. Prussia loses 10 EP, 10 VP, but gains 3 morale. Okay. I think I'm going to fortify it. Okay, so here you see what happens sometimes when you promote somebody over somebody else. Friedrich Leopold Gessler is angered that Ferdinand von Preußen has been promoted to prince before him. You have paid a cost of 1 national morale and 20 victory points. Hans Graf Hessen-Kassel is angered that Friedrich Graf Württemberg has been promoted to brigadier before him. You have paid a cost of 0 national morale, and it doesn't say. That's another thing. Let's see here. I was wondering before why he's locked. He was injured, and I guess he's still injured. He will be locked until he's not injured, which kind of sucks because I've used some EPs to bring him. But anyway, let's see. Let's just go through that. Prussia reacts to Sweden war declaration. 20-odd Prussian militia and Freikorps are in Brandenburg with Generals Werner and Kleist. Sweden declaration entails a swift reaction from Prussia as Friedrich calls the northern provinces of his realm for assistance. Militia are raised throughout Brandenburg and Pomerania. The mouth of the Oder is also fortified to protect Stettin. So we got this, we got this, we got that, we got that. He said Brandenburg and Pomerania. There's Werner. There's some more troops in Brandenburg. And Kleist. So we've got some, that's going to help. France reacts to the Army of Observation. France reacts to the Army of Observation. It doesn't really say much. William Pitt is dismissed. Austrian coalition plus 3 national morale. Prussian alliance minus 3 EP, 3 national morale, and 2 victory points. A new option is available. Oh, and remember how I said Kassel and Hanover? Well, now they're free and they're occupied, and so it doesn't show that nobody holds them. It shows that we hold them now. So to win the game, I think the last time I played this game, I had to capture Prague, Olmütz, Brunn, and Vienna, and the Austrians collapsed. All right, Austria has received a new general. Prussian morale decreased to balance the game, but engagement points and victory points received. So it's another one of these minus 5 national morale, and we gain 2 EP and 10 VP. And Austria has received another. Oh well. Anyway, I hope it has filmed this time. I hope it's a good video. But thank you very much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you like the content, and hit the bell for notifications. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.